This strawberry season short story introduces Maria, a woman living alone in a bustling city who makes a living from her homemade strawberry jam. She frequently ventures to a nearby forest to pick strawberries, where she meets Alex, a botanist. Chapter 1: Introduction. Maria's apartment was a tranquil oasis nestled amidst the hustle and bustle of the city. It was a small space, but she had filled it with things that brought her joy and comfort. The most prominent feature was the rows of glass jars lining the shelves, each one filled with her homemade strawberry jam. The jars glowed like rubies in the morning sunlight, a testament to Maria's passion and creativity. These jars were more than just preserves, they were symbols of her connection to nature and the simple pleasures of life. Every morning, Maria woke up early, savoring the quiet moments before the city came to life. She would sit by her window with a steaming cup of tea, watching as the first rays of sunlight bathed the streets in a warm golden glow. The city was still, the usual noise and chaos replaced by a serene calm. These early hours were Maria's time for reflection and tranquility, a precious respite before the day's demands. Her mornings began with a routine that brought her comfort and stability. After her tea, she would prepare for her job at a local bookstore, a quaint little shop tucked away on a quieter street. The bookstore was her second home, a place where she found solace among the shelves of well-loved books. The scent of aged paper and the soft murmur of customers browsing the aisles provided a sense of peace that Maria cherished. She loved recommending stories to readers, finding joy in helping them discover new adventures. Despite the contentment she found in her job, Maria's true passion lay in her evening ritual of making strawberry jam. Each evening after her shift, she would hurry home, eager to immerse herself in the process. Her tiny kitchen was a haven of activity and creativity, filled with the sweet, intoxicating aroma of simmering strawberries and sugar. This was her sanctuary, a place where she could lose herself in the art of preserving the essence of summer. The process of making jam was both an art and a science. Maria approached it with meticulous care, each step a part of a well-practiced ritual. She began by selecting the best strawberries, a task she took great pride in. Only the ripest, juiciest berries would do. She sourced them from a local farmer's market, enjoying the ritual of choosing each one carefully. The market itself was a sensory delight, bustling with vendors selling fresh produce, flowers, and artisanal goods. Maria loved the sense of community and the connection to the land that the market provided. Once she had her strawberries, Maria would return to her apartment and begin the meticulous process of washing them. She filled a large bowl with cool water, gently swishing the berries around to remove any dirt and debris. This simple task was calming, the feel of the cool water and the vibrant red berries, a soothing contrast to the frenetic pace of the city outside. Next came the hulling and slicing. Maria's hands moved with practiced ease, deftly removing the green tops and slicing the berries into even pieces. This part of the process was almost meditative, the repetitive motion allowing her mind to wander and relax. She often thought of her grandmother during these moments, remembering the summers spent in her kitchen, learning the secrets of jam making. With the strawberries prepared, Maria would combine them with sugar and a touch of lemon juice in a large pot. As the mixture began to heat, the strawberries would release their juices, melding with the sugar to create a thick, luscious concoction. The air filled with the sweet, fragrant steam, enveloping Maria in a comforting embrace. The cooking process required patience and precision. Maria would stir the mixture constantly, ensuring it didn't stick to the bottom of the pot or boil over. She knew the exact moment when the jam was ready, the perfect balance of thickness and sweetness. To test its readiness, she would place a small amount on a cold plate and watch it set, a trick her grandmother had taught her. Once the jam was ready, Maria would carefully ladle it into sterilized glass jars. This part required a steady hand and a keen eye, as she filled each jar just to the right level, leaving enough space at the top for sealing. The jars were then sealed tightly, preserving the freshness and flavor of the jam. Maria took great pride in this part of the process, knowing that each jar was a little piece of her heart, captured and preserved. With the jars sealed, Maria would label them with the date and a small note, a personal touch that made each one special. She often wrote simple, heartfelt messages or quotes that held personal significance. These labels were more than just practical. They were a way for Maria to connect with the people who would enjoy her jam, sharing a piece of her journey with them. Maria's life, though solitary, was rich and fulfilling. Her friends and acquaintances added a social dimension to her days, but her true companions were the strawberries and the jars of jam that filled her apartment. These jars were a diary of sorts, each one capturing a moment in time, a flavor of life. They represented her connection to nature, her passion for creating something beautiful, and her desire to share that beauty with others. Her apartment was her sanctuary, a place where she could escape from the noise and chaos of the city and find her own rhythm. The rows of glass jars stood as silent witnesses to her dedication and love for her craft. Each one told a story, a narrative of patience, care, and joy that Maria had carefully crafted. Every morning, as she sat by her window with her tea, Maria would reflect on her journey. She had found a way to balance the demands of city life with her need for connection to nature. Her daily routine, while simple, brought her a profound sense of purpose. She had discovered a way to weave together the threads of her passions into a tapestry of fulfillment and peace. Maria's story was one of quiet resilience and joy, of finding beauty in the simple act of making jam. Her life, framed by the bustling city outside and the serene sanctuary of her apartment, was a testament to the power of following one's passion and creating a space of one's own amidst the chaos. And so, each day began with a promise of new possibilities, captured in the sweet ruby glow of her strawberry jam. Chapter 2. The Strawberry Hunt. Every Saturday, Maria's heart beat a little faster with anticipation as she prepared for her weekly pilgrimage to the forest on the outskirts of the city. These trips were more than a simple quest for strawberries. They were a sacred ritual, a much-needed escape from the urban jungle, and a chance to reconnect with the rhythms of nature. The city was still drowsy in the early morning light as Maria made her way to the bus stop, her wicker basket swinging gently at her side. The streets, usually teeming with activity, were calm and quiet. She relished these moments of solitude, the air crisp and filled with the promise of the day ahead. The bus ride to the forest was a journey she cherished, watching as the concrete and steel of the cityscape gradually gave way to the lush green fields and dense woodlands. The forest welcomed her with open arms. It was alive with the sounds of birds chirping, leaves rustling in the gentle breeze, and the distant hum of insects. The air was fresh and earthy, a fragrant mix of pine, moss, and damp soil. Maria took a deep breath, feeling the stress and noise of the city melt away as she ventured deeper into the woods. Her path was a familiar one, worn smooth by years of footsteps. She knew every twist and turn, each hidden nook where the wild strawberries grew in abundance. These patches were her secret havens, discovered through years of exploration and a keen sense of intuition. The strawberries thrived here, hidden among the underbrush, their bright red fruit a vivid contrast against the green foliage. Maria approached her task with a sense of reverence and care. She would kneel down, her fingers moving deftly through the leaves to find the ripest, juiciest berries. Each one was carefully picked and placed into her basket, which gradually filled with the bounty of the forest. She took her time, enjoying the solitude and the simple pleasure of being surrounded by nature. On one particularly sunny morning, as Maria was deeply engrossed in her task, she heard a rustling nearby. Startled, she looked up to see a man about her age with tousled hair and a gentle smile. He was also gathering strawberries, his own basket already half full. He wore a weathered hat and practical, sturdy clothes that suggested he spent a lot of time outdoors. "Hello," he said, tipping his hat slightly. "I'm Alex. Seems we're both after the same treasure." Maria smiled back, feeling a curious mixture of surprise and excitement. Encounters in the forest were rare, and this one felt serendipitous. "I'm Maria," she replied. "It looks like we both have good taste." They chatted as they picked, the conversation flowing naturally. Maria learned that Alex was a botanist conducting research on the forest's flora. He spoke passionately about his work, describing the delicate balance of the ecosystem and the importance of preserving it. Maria found his knowledge fascinating and his enthusiasm infectious. Their paths began to cross regularly after that first meeting. Each weekend they would find themselves in the same strawberry patch, their shared love for strawberries creating an unspoken bond. The forest became a place of connection, where they could escape the demands of their respective lives and enjoy the simple pleasure of foraging. With each encounter, Maria and Alex's friendship deepened. They would spend hours talking as they picked, sharing stories about their lives, their dreams, and their fears. Alex was originally from a small town, drawn to the city by his research, but he missed the wide-open spaces and the slower pace of rural life. Maria, on the other hand, had grown up in the city but longed for the tranquility of the countryside. Their contrasting backgrounds gave them much to talk about and learn from each other. One Saturday, after a particularly fruitful morning of strawberry picking, Maria invited Alex to her apartment. He had expressed a keen interest in learning how to make jam, and Maria was excited to share her craft with him. Her apartment, filled with the comforting aroma of strawberries and sugar, felt warmer with Alex's presence. As they began their journey back to the city, Maria and Alex fell into an easy rhythm, their footsteps synchronized on the forest path. The sun was high in the sky, casting dappled shadows on the ground, and the air was filled with the sounds of nature. Maria found herself glancing at Alex, feeling a sense of contentment she hadn't experienced in a long time. "So, what got you into botany?" Maria asked, breaking the comfortable silence. Alex smiled, his eyes lighting up. "I've always loved nature. Growing up in a small town, I spent most of my time outdoors, exploring the woods and fields. My parents were both scientists, and they encouraged my curiosity. When I got older, I realized I wanted to dedicate my life to understanding and protecting the environment. Botany seemed like the perfect way to do that." Maria nodded, feeling a deep respect for Alex's dedication. "That's amazing. I've always felt a connection to nature, too. Making jam is my way of staying connected to the earth, of preserving a little piece of it." They walked in companionable silence for a while, each lost in their thoughts. When they reached the edge of the forest, the city loomed ahead, a stark contrast to the natural beauty they were leaving behind. But Maria felt a sense of anticipation rather than dread. She was looking forward to showing Alex her world, to sharing the process that brought her so much joy. Back in her apartment, Maria and Alex quickly fell into a comfortable routine. They washed the strawberries, their hands moving in tandem as they chatted and laughed. Maria showed Alex how to hull the berries, her fingers deftly removing the green tops. He mimicked her movements, his concentration evident as he tried to match her skill. "The key is to be gentle," Maria explained, her voice soft but confident. "You don't want to bruise the berries. Treat them with care and they'll reward you with their sweetness." Alex nodded, his respect for Maria's expertise growing with each step of the process. They moved on to cooking the strawberries, the mixture bubbling in a large pot on the stove. The sweet, fragrant steam filled the kitchen, enveloping them in a cloud of warmth and nostalgia. As they worked, their conversation flowed freely. They talked about their families, their childhoods, and their dreams for the future. Maria found herself opening up to Alex in ways she hadn't with anyone else, sharing stories and thoughts she had kept to herself for years. Alex, in turn, spoke of his challenges and aspirations, his voice tinged with both hope and uncertainty. One evening, as they sat surrounded by jars of freshly made jam, Alex confided in Maria about a looming challenge. His research funding was at risk, and he faced the possibility of having to leave the city. The news hit Maria hard. She had grown to cherish their time together, and the thought of losing him filled her with a deep sense of loss. "Isn't there something we can do?" Maria asked, her voice tinged with concern. "You've put so much into your work. There has to be a way to keep it going." Alex sighed, his frustration evident. "I've explored all my options. The funding cuts are affecting a lot of projects, not just mine. I'm not sure what else to do." Maria's mind raced, searching for a solution. "What if we sell the jam? We've been making so much of it and people love it. Maybe we could generate some income to support your research." Alex looked at her, his eyes lighting up with a mixture of hope and disbelief. "Do you really think that could work?" "It's worth a try," Maria said, determination in her voice. "We've got nothing to lose and everything to gain. Let's do it together." Their decision to sell the jam added a new layer of excitement to their weekends. They worked tirelessly, perfecting their recipes, designing labels, and setting up a small online store. The response was overwhelmingly positive, with orders pouring in from all corners of the city. Their jam became a sensation, praised for its rich flavor and the story behind it. Through this endeavor, Maria and Alex's bond deepened further. They were no longer just friends who met in the forest. They were partners, working towards a common goal. The challenges they faced brought them closer, their shared determination strengthening their relationship. Their journey together was just beginning, and the future held many uncertainties. But one thing was clear: their connection, forged in the heart of the forest and nurtured through their shared love for strawberries, was strong and enduring. They had found something special in each other, and together they were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Chapter 3: A Growing Friendship. The forest, once a place of solitary refuge for Maria, had transformed into a setting of budding companionship and unexpected joy. Each weekend, Maria and Alex's paths would cross, and their encounters became more than just coincidental meetings. They became a ritual, eagerly anticipated by both. As the weeks turned into months, their conversations grew deeper and more personal. Initially, they spoke about the forest, their shared love for strawberries, and the serenity that nature provided. But gradually, their talks ventured into the realms of dreams, fears, and personal histories, weaving a tapestry of connection that neither had anticipated. One crisp autumn morning, Maria and Alex met at their usual spot. The forest was a riot of color, the leaves a kaleidoscope of reds, oranges, and yellows. They worked side by side, their movements synchronized, as if they had been doing this together for years. "I always wondered," Alex began, breaking the comfortable silence. "What made you start making strawberry jam? It's not something you hear about every day." Maria smiled, her eyes reflecting the dappled sunlight filtering through the trees. "It's a bit of a long story. When I was a child, my grandmother used to make jam every summer. She lived in a small cottage surrounded by fields of strawberries. I would spend my summers with her, picking strawberries and helping her in the kitchen. She taught me everything I know. When she passed away, I started making jam to keep her memory alive. It's my way of staying connected to her and to those simpler times." Alex listened intently, his eyes softening with understanding. "That's beautiful, Maria. It's amazing how traditions like that can keep our loved ones close, even after they're gone." "What about you, Alex?" Maria asked, her curiosity piqued. "What drew you to botany and the forest?" Alex paused, his expression contemplative. "I grew up in a small town surrounded by forests. My parents were both scientists, and they instilled a love for nature in me from a young age. I used to spend hours exploring the woods, cataloging plants and collecting samples. When I grew older, I decided to pursue botany as a career. It felt like a natural path for me, a way to combine my passion with my desire to make a difference. The forest is more than just a place to me. It's a living, breathing entity that I want to understand and protect." Their conversations flowed effortlessly, each word building a bridge between their worlds. They discovered commonalities and celebrated their differences, finding joy in their shared experiences and learning from each other's perspectives. Maria admired Alex's dedication to his work, his unwavering commitment to understanding and preserving nature. In turn, Alex was captivated by Maria's passion for jam making, her ability to transform simple ingredients into something extraordinary. One weekend, after a particularly fruitful morning of strawberry picking, Maria invited Alex to her apartment. He had expressed a keen interest in learning how to make jam, and Maria was excited to share her craft with him. Her apartment, filled with the comforting aroma of strawberries and sugar, felt warmer with Alex's presence. They started by washing the freshly picked strawberries, their hands moving in tandem as they chatted and laughed. Maria showed Alex how to hull the berries, her fingers deftly removing the green tops. He mimicked her movements, his concentration evident as he tried to match her skill. "The key is to be gentle," Maria explained, her voice soft but confident. "You don't want to bruise the berries. Treat them with care and they'll reward you with their sweetness." Alex nodded, his respect for Maria's expertise growing with each step of the process. They moved on to cooking the strawberries, the mixture bubbling in a large pot on the stove. The sweet, fragrant steam filled the kitchen, enveloping them in a cloud of warmth and nostalgia. As they worked, their conversation flowed freely. They talked about their families, their childhoods, and their dreams for the future. Maria found herself opening up to Alex in ways she hadn't with anyone else, sharing stories and thoughts she had kept to herself for years. Alex, in turn, spoke of his challenges and aspirations, his voice tinged with both hope and uncertainty. One evening, as they sat surrounded by jars of freshly made jam, Alex confided in Maria about a looming challenge. His research funding was at risk, and he faced the possibility of having to leave the city. The news hit Maria hard. She had grown to cherish their time together and couldn't imagine her routine without him. "Isn't there something we can do?" Maria asked, her voice tinged with concern. "You've put so much into your work. There has to be a way to keep it going." Alex sighed, his frustration evident. "I've explored all my options. The funding cuts are affecting a lot of projects, not just mine. I'm not sure what else to do." Maria's mind raced, searching for a solution. "What if we sell the jam? We've been making so much of it and people love it. Maybe we could generate some income to support your research." Alex looked at her, his eyes lighting up with a mixture of hope and disbelief. "Do you really think that could work?" "It's worth a try," Maria said, determination in her voice. "We've got nothing to lose and everything to gain. Let's do it together." Their decision to sell the jam added a new layer of excitement to their weekends. They worked tirelessly, perfecting their recipes, designing labels, and setting up a small online store. The response was overwhelmingly positive, with orders pouring in from all corners of the city. Their jam became a sensation, praised for its rich flavor and the story behind it. Through this endeavor, Maria and Alex's bond deepened further. They were no longer just friends who met in the forest. They were partners, working towards a common goal. The challenges they faced brought them closer, their shared determination strengthening their relationship. As the weeks passed, Maria realized that what she felt for Alex was more than friendship. She admired his dedication, his kindness, and his passion. Alex, too, found himself drawn to Maria in ways he hadn't expected, captivated by her warmth, her creativity, and her unwavering support. Their journey together was just beginning, and the future held many uncertainties. But one thing was clear: their connection, forged in the heart of the forest and nurtured through their shared love for strawberries, was strong and enduring. They had found something special in each other, and together they were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Chapter 4: The Jam-Making Process. The rhythmic clinking of jars and the fragrant scent of simmering strawberries filled Maria's apartment. It had become a second home for Alex, a place where he could forget about the pressures of his research and lose himself in the art of jam making. Under Maria's patient guidance, Alex had come to appreciate the meticulous process and the love that went into each jar of jam. Their jam-making sessions began with a ritual of sorts. They would start by selecting the best strawberries, a task that had become second nature to both of them. Maria would inspect each berry with a discerning eye, her fingers moving deftly through the pile to find the ripest, juiciest ones. Alex had learned to trust her judgment, and he enjoyed the challenge of matching her pace and precision. Once the strawberries were selected, they moved on to washing them. The sink would be filled with cool water, and together they would gently swish the berries around, careful not to bruise them. It was a calming activity, and their conversations flowed as easily as the water. They talked about everything from their favorite books to their hopes for the future, each conversation deepening their connection. Next came the hulling and slicing. Maria's hands moved with practiced ease, and she showed Alex the best way to remove the green tops without wasting any of the precious fruit. Alex mimicked her movements, his concentration evident as he tried to perfect his technique. Maria's gentle corrections and encouraging words made the task enjoyable, and they often found themselves laughing at their small mistakes and triumphs. The cooking process was where the magic truly happened. They would combine the strawberries with sugar and a touch of lemon juice in a large pot, then set it over a low heat. As the mixture began to bubble and thicken, the kitchen would fill with the sweet, intoxicating aroma of strawberries and sugar. Maria taught Alex how to stir the mixture just right, ensuring it didn't stick to the bottom of the pot or boil over. "Patience is key," Maria would say, her voice calm and steady. "Good jam takes time. You can't rush the process." Alex found this part of the process particularly soothing. The repetitive motion of stirring, the gentle heat from the stove, and the comforting smell of the cooking strawberries created a sense of peace. It was a stark contrast to the frantic pace of his research, and he cherished these moments of tranquility. As the jam cooked, they would test its readiness by placing a small amount on a cold plate. When it set just right, they knew it was time to jar the jam. This was a precise operation, and Maria's steady hand guided Alex through it. They would ladle the hot jam into sterilized jars, leaving just the right amount of space at the top before sealing them tightly. The jars were then set aside to cool, each one a testament to their shared effort. Filling the jars was a moment of triumph. The glistening ruby-red jam looked beautiful in the glass containers, and Maria's eyes would light up with satisfaction as she admired their work. Alex felt a sense of accomplishment too, proud of what they had created together. Once the jars were filled, they would label them with the date and a small note, a personal touch that Maria insisted on. Each label told a story, a snapshot of the time they had spent together. They would often laugh as they came up with quirky or heartfelt messages, adding a bit of personality to each jar. Through these jam-making sessions, Maria and Alex's bond grew stronger. They found joy in the simple, rhythmic tasks, and their shared goal of creating something beautiful and delicious brought them closer. They supported each other, learning from their mistakes and celebrating their successes. The kitchen became a place of laughter and learning, a space where they could be themselves and grow together. One evening, as they sat surrounded by freshly sealed jars, Alex opened up about a personal challenge. He revealed that his research funding was being cut, and he faced the possibility of having to leave the city. The news hit Maria hard. She had grown to cherish their time together, and the thought of losing him filled her with a deep sense of loss. "Isn't there something we can do?" Maria asked, her voice tinged with concern. "You've put so much into your work. There has to be a way to keep it going." Alex sighed, his frustration evident. "I've explored all my options. The funding cuts are affecting a lot of projects, not just mine. I'm not sure what else to do." Maria's mind raced, searching for a solution. "What if we sell the jam? We've been making so much of it and people love it. Maybe we could generate some income to support your research." Alex looked at her, his eyes lighting up with a mixture of hope and disbelief. "Do you really think that could work?" "It's worth a try," Maria said, determination in her voice. "We've got nothing to lose and everything to gain. Let's do it together." Their decision to sell the jam added a new layer of excitement to their weekends. They worked tirelessly, perfecting their recipes, designing labels, and setting up a small online store. The response was overwhelmingly positive, with orders pouring in from all corners of the city. Their jam became a sensation, praised for its rich flavor and the story behind it. Through this endeavor, Maria and Alex's bond deepened further. They were no longer just friends who met in the forest. They were partners, working towards a common goal. The challenges they faced brought them closer, their shared determination strengthening their relationship. Their journey together was just beginning, and the future held many uncertainties. But one thing was clear: their connection, forged in the heart of the forest and nurtured through their shared love for strawberries, was strong and enduring. They had found something special in each other, and together they were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Chapter 5: Challenges and Revelations. The jam-making business was thriving. Orders were coming in faster than Maria and Alex could have ever imagined. Their kitchen had turned into a small-scale production line, with every available surface covered in strawberries, jars, and labels. The sweet aroma of simmering strawberries and sugar filled the air, a comforting scent that was now a constant in their lives. Despite their success, the pressure was mounting. Balancing the demands of their growing business with their personal lives and Alex's research was no small feat. They were working long hours, often late into the night, to keep up with the orders. The initial excitement began to give way to exhaustion, and the strain was starting to show. One evening, after a particularly grueling day, Alex seemed unusually quiet. They were sitting at the kitchen table, labeling the latest batch of jars. Maria noticed the tension in his posture, the way his hands moved mechanically, without their usual energy. "Alex, is everything okay?" Maria asked gently, setting down her pen. Alex sighed, running a hand through his hair. "I'm just tired, Maria. This is all starting to feel like too much. Between the jam business and my research, I'm stretched thin." Maria reached out, placing a comforting hand on his arm. I know it's hard, but we're doing something amazing here. We're helping your research and making people happy with our jam. I know, and I'm grateful, Alex replied, his voice softening. But there's something I haven't told you. My funding isn't just being cut, it's being eliminated entirely. I'm not just at risk of having to leave the city, I'm at risk of losing my career. The weight of his words hung in the air. Maria felt a pang of worry and sadness. She had grown so close to Alex, and the thought of him losing everything he had worked for was heartbreaking. "Why didn't you tell me sooner?" Maria asked, her voice trembling slightly. "I didn't want to burden you," Alex admitted. "You've already done so much. I thought maybe I could find a solution, but it's looking more and more impossible." Maria took a deep breath, her mind racing. "We'll find a way through this, Alex. We've come this far together, and I'm not giving up now. Maybe we can expand the business, find new ways to increase our sales." Alex looked at her, his eyes filled with gratitude and something deeper, an emotion that went beyond friendship. "Maria, you've been my rock through all of this. I don't know what I'd do without you." "We're a team," Maria said firmly. "We'll figure this out together." The days that followed were challenging. They poured all their energy into the jam business, looking for ways to increase efficiency and boost sales. They reached out to local stores, cafes, and farmers' markets, expanding their customer base. They also set up a crowdfunding campaign, sharing Alex's story and the importance of his research, hoping to attract support from the wider community. Despite their efforts, the pressure took its toll. There were moments of doubt and frustration, times when they felt like they were fighting a losing battle. Maria struggled with her own feelings, the fear of losing Alex and the worry that their efforts might not be enough. One evening, as they sat in the living room, exhausted from another long day, Alex turned to Maria. "I've been thinking," he began, his voice hesitant. "What if we take a break from the jam business, just for a little while, to regroup and figure out our next steps?" Maria looked at him, understanding his need for a breather. "Maybe you're right. We've been pushing ourselves so hard. A break might be exactly what we need to recharge and come back stronger." They decided to scale back their production temporarily, focusing on fulfilling existing orders and maintaining their online presence. The break gave them a chance to breathe, to reflect on their journey and consider their options. During this time, Maria found herself reflecting on her relationship with Alex. They had grown so close, their bond deepening with each challenge they faced together. She realized that what she felt for him was more than friendship, it was love. But she was unsure how to express these feelings, worried about complicating their already uncertain situation. Alex, too, was grappling with his emotions. He had come to rely on Maria's strength and support, and he admired her resilience and compassion. His feelings for her had grown into something profound, but he feared jeopardizing their friendship by revealing his true feelings. One evening, as they were sitting on the balcony, watching the city lights twinkle in the distance, Alex decided it was time to be honest. "Maria, there's something I need to tell you," he began, his voice steady but nervous. Maria turned to him, her heart pounding. "What is it, Alex?" "I've been trying to find the right moment, but there never seems to be a perfect time," he said, taking a deep breath. "I care about you, Maria, more than just a friend. You've become such an important part of my life, and I don't want to lose you." Maria felt a surge of relief and joy. "Alex, I feel the same way. I've been afraid to say anything because I didn't want to risk what we have, but I love you." They sat in silence for a moment, the weight of their shared feelings sinking in. Then Alex reached out, taking Maria's hand in his. "We'll face whatever comes together," he said softly. "No matter what happens, we have each other." Their relationship, now defined by love and mutual respect, gave them the strength to continue fighting for their dreams. They resumed their jam business with renewed vigor, finding creative ways to increase their sales and support Alex's research. They organized community events, collaborated with local businesses, and even started offering jam-making workshops. Their efforts paid off. The community rallied around them, drawn by their story and the quality of their product. The crowdfunding campaign gained traction, and they received enough support to keep Alex's research alive. It wasn't easy, but they faced each challenge with determination and the knowledge that they had each other's backs. Through it all, the simple act of picking strawberries and making jam remained a constant source of joy and connection. It was a reminder of where they had started and how far they had come. Their bond, forged in the heart of the forest and strengthened through adversity, was unbreakable. As they looked towards the future, Maria and Alex knew that whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them together. Their love, rooted in the shared rhythms of strawberry season, was as enduring and sweet as the jam they made. Chapter 6. The End. The first rays of spring sunlight streamed through the window, casting a warm glow over Maria's apartment. The familiar scent of strawberries and sugar filled the air, mingling with the fresh, clean smell of the season's first bloom. Maria and Alex stood side by side in the kitchen, their movements synchronized as they prepared the latest batch of their now famous strawberry jam. The rhythm of their work was comforting, a testament to how far they had come together. Their jam business had not only survived but thrived. The community had rallied around them, embracing their story and supporting their cause. They had successfully funded Alex's research through their sales and a heartwarming crowdfunding campaign. The gratitude and love from their supporters had been overwhelming, and it had reaffirmed their belief in the power of community and perseverance. As they worked, Maria glanced at Alex, her heart swelling with love and pride. His eyes were focused on the task at hand, but there was a lightness to his expression that hadn't been there before. The weight of uncertainty that had once burdened him was gone, replaced by a quiet confidence and contentment. She admired his resilience and the passion he brought to both his research and their shared venture. "Remember when we first started this?" Maria said with a smile, breaking the comfortable silence. "We had no idea what we were doing, but look at us now." Alex chuckled, nodding. "It feels like a lifetime ago. We've come so far thanks to you. I couldn't have done any of this without your support." Maria's smile widened. "It wasn't just me, Alex. We did this together, and we'll keep moving forward together." Their relationship had deepened into a profound love, built on a foundation of mutual respect, trust, and shared dreams. They had faced countless challenges, but each one had brought them closer, strengthening their bond. The love they had discovered in each other was a source of joy and inspiration, a reminder that they could overcome anything as long as they were together. With the last jar of jam sealed and labeled, Maria and Alex took a moment to admire their work. The rows of gleaming jars were more than just a product of their labor. They were symbols of their journey, each one holding a piece of their story. Later that evening, they sat on the balcony, a favorite spot that offered a panoramic view of the city. The air was cool and crisp, filled with the promise of new beginnings. Maria leaned into Alex, her head resting on his shoulder as they watched the city lights twinkle in the twilight. "I've been thinking," Alex began, his voice soft and thoughtful, "about what's next for us. We've built something incredible here, but I don't want us to stop dreaming. There's so much more we can do." Maria looked up at him, curiosity and excitement in her eyes. "What do you have in mind?" "I want to expand our business," Alex said, his eyes shining with enthusiasm. Not just with jam, but with other products too. We could create a whole line of preserves, maybe even open a small shop or a cafe where people can enjoy our creations. And I want to continue my research, find new ways to integrate our business with environmental sustainability. We can make a real impact. Maria's heart swelled with pride and excitement. I love that idea, Alex. We've always been about more than just making jam. It's about creating something meaningful and giving back to the community. Let's do it. Their vision for the future was clear, and they set to work making it a reality. They expanded their product line to include a variety of preserves, each one crafted with the same care and passion as their strawberry jam. They partnered with local farmers and artisans, ensuring that their ingredients were sourced sustainably and ethically. Their products became a staple in local markets, praised not only for their quality, but also for their commitment to community and the environment. In addition to their business, Alex continued his research, now funded and supported by the community they had built. He explored innovative ways to promote sustainability, integrating his findings into their business practices. His work garnered attention and respect in the scientific community, further validating the importance of their efforts. Together, Maria and Alex opened a charming shop in the heart of the city. It was a cozy space, filled with the warm aroma of fresh preserves and the cheerful chatter of customers. The walls were adorned with pictures and notes from their journey, a testament to the love and hard work that had brought them to this point. The shop quickly became a beloved spot, a place where people could enjoy delicious treats and feel a part of something special. Their relationship, once a budding friendship in the forest, had blossomed into a deep and enduring love. They faced each challenge with determination and grace, always supporting each other and finding strength in their bond. Their love story was intertwined with the rhythm of the seasons, the sweetness of strawberries, and the joy of creating something beautiful together. As the first snowfall of winter blanketed the city, Maria and Alex stood in their shop, surrounded by friends, family, and loyal customers. They had organized a small celebration, a thank you to everyone who had supported them. The air was filled with laughter and the clinking of glasses, a warm and festive atmosphere. Maria looked around, her heart filled with gratitude and happiness. She squeezed Alex's hand, their fingers entwined. "We did it, Alex, we made it." Alex smiled, leaning in to kiss her forehead. "And we'll keep making it together. No matter what comes, we'll face it side by side." As they looked out at the snow-covered city, Maria and Alex knew that their journey was far from over. The challenges they had faced had only made them stronger, and the love they had found in each other was a beacon that would guide them through whatever lay ahead. Their story, like the sweet simplicity of strawberry season, was a testament to the power of love, resilience, and the magic of creating something beautiful together.